Why hello you amazing beautiful people, and how are you doing? Welcome back to another Kendrick Lamar reaction video. So when we do these album reactions, I really want to make sure I fully understand each album before we move on. And a lot of you have been asking me to do the breakdowns and like the videos explained sort of around the album, around Good Kid Maad City. And I'd say the #1 most recommended I have seen is this one right here, which is the one I actually asked about, the animated one. The entire story animated behind Good Kid Maad City. And honestly, I really want to know more. I feel like we can kind of understand the story, you know, it's pretty much transparent in what conspired over that night, but I really would like to know the in-depth, the analysis, the trueness behind everything, the truth behind everything. So this video is going to help us do that. So shout out to the channel that put this together. I don't know how you say their name, Chilito is how I say them. Link to that channel is going to be in the description. Let me know what you guys want me to react to for our next Kendrick Lamar reaction. We jump into another album reaction. Is there another video you guys would like before that? Some of you have been asking for some live performances, some different kind of performances as well. So maybe we can do a couple of them before we do the next album. Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. We're going to be live tonight on Twitch doing an anime subathon. So if you want to join me for that, links in the description. Without more talking from me, let's jump into my first time ever reaction to Good Kid Maad City by Kendrick Lamar, fully explained.
A lot of people think they know Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid Maad City. I honestly doubt it. Here, we're not only going to be revisiting the album, we're going to be dissecting every story, meaning and how this is Kendrick's greatest album. Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid Maad City is more than just a bunch of random songs. No, it tells the story on how Kendrick became the success he is today by battling his inner demons, trauma, and how in just one single day, Kendrick would be faced with the hardest choice of his life. So, what does it mean to be a good kid in a mad city?
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
The album
This is gonna be good. I can tell already.
Lord God, I come to you a sinner, and I humbly repent for my sins.
Now this is...
Oh, I didn't even think about how the album starts and ends with this. I didn't even think about that. Shit, man. Oh, man. How did I not even pick up on that?
No doubt the most important line of the entire album. And somehow, it's the first thing we hear. A rather interesting way to start since it gives us a sense of remorse and repentance. But who are these people and what are they praying for? That's when you start getting the sense of something not being right.
God, this fucking album, man.
An important sound that represents a key figure in this album. A girl. A girl that would change the whole trajectory of everything to come after. Shireane. The song kicks off at this house party in Compton where a young 17-year-old
This video is awesome.
meets this girl, Shireane.
Met her at this house party on El Segundo in Central. She had the credentials of strippers in Atlanta. Hello, my name is Kendrick. She said, no, you're handsome. Whispered in my ear, disappeared, then found her dancing.
She's captivating.
This is fucking awesome. This video is so good. It literally paints the entire story of the album, animated as well, fitting the lines into these different animated scenes. This is fucking great. This is a great idea. Look, this is brilliant.
Beyond anything he's felt
such a good
before.
idea for a video.
This girl Shireane becomes a huge temptation for Kendrick. The way that he describes her, all rough and focusing on her physicality, shows the youthful impulsiveness that drives so many of his decisions in this album. This is where the concept of choice starts to take place. We learned in the song that Shireane is affiliated with gang in her family.
Her favorite cousin Demetrius is a reputable family history of gang banging did make me skeptical.
He's able to acknowledge these red flags but still chooses to pursue her anyways, driven by his lust. So when the opportunity presents
How could he do that? How could he? Nah, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
itself for Kendrick to go over, he doesn't hesitate to take his mom and
Say
dad and
less.
drive straight to her house.
Yep, alright.
Real quick, be back 15 minutes.
And I'm thinking about that. Thinking about
Right, let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. None of us have ever done anything like this. None of us have ever done anything like this. When I'm a married man now, but in my younger years, I never did anything like this. I definitely didn't cycle all the way across a damn town. I didn't do it. No.
maybe kissing on her neck or maybe one position's next. 2 blocks away, 250 feet, 6 steps from where she's Haitian.
But as Kendrick inches closer and closer to Shireane, The track here suddenly stops. A very simple story. Boy meets girl, girl becomes a problem, and consequences begin. But after this point, you're left wondering, what just happened? Are these two hooded people involved with Shireane? Was this all a plot towards Kendrick? Even considering Kendrick's mom refers to Shireane as a hood rat in the ending skit of the song.
Yeah.
Where you at? Damn. Sitting here waiting on my van. You told me you was gonna be back in 15 minutes. You on your way or what? I hope you ain't out there messing with them damn hood rats out there, especially that crazy ass girl Shireane.
As the album progresses, you're able to see that Shireane, aka Master Splinter's daughter, is sort of a starting point for Kendrick to confront his own identity.
One thing that I've learned is my mum wasn't really good at this, but most good mums, how they describe someone is usually how that person is. Like let's be honest, Kendrick in this situation, he ain't thinking clearly. Okay, no one would be. So how the parents describe the person, usually accurate.
Is Kendrick? Who does Kendrick want to become? It represents a crossroads where the wrong choice can lead to horrible outcomes. So who is Kendrick gonna choose to be after this just happened? Vibe is the second and most favorable song off the album and introduces us to a new version of Kendrick.
Great
no longer
album.
K.O.T, the young boy from Compton, but Kendrick as he is from the release of this album. In the song, Kendrick talks to different people, with each perspective being able to help us understand his message a little better. First, having a conversation with God, talking to him as a sinner.
I am a sinner.
Such a good freaking song,
Taking
man.
the time to rant to God about how he doesn't like where rap is going. Telling him that his music is meant to send a message of love and courage, but others just use it to get famous.
I'm guessing because the copyright has been taken out a little bit here, so it makes sense. So true. So true. This is why so many people fell out of love with rap. Myself included, by the way. Like, I was never a crazy hip-hop fan. Like, I was never heavily into hip-hop. But I did love, like, a lot. Like I said, I grew up, and I'd have, like, an Eminem CD. I'd have a 50 Cent CD. I had a freaking G-Unit album. Like, I liked that sort of stuff, right? Those were the albums I sort of grew up listening to, right? I didn't really know much about rap, so outside of that, what my friends were listening to, that's all I sort of knew. And I had a friend who was a huge 50 Cent fan, so he used to just, like, give me the album. So that was pretty much it. I only really knew those two rappers and any rapper that sort of, or, like, orbited them. So, but then, like, rap changed, and we became this mumble rap, and everyone was, and like, this grime rap, and everyone was like, oh, what do you think of this? And I just thought it sounded shit, if I'm being honest. And I know that might sound rude, but it really didn't click with me. Like, I couldn't really understand half of it. Like, I swear at times people weren't even, like the stuff I was being shown, it would be like just me talking right now, and then I just kind of, I went out the door, I walked down the street, like, there was no, like, talent to it. And it bothered me a little bit. But now, Kendrick Lamar has reignited that fire for me and has made me want to go down this hip-hop journey, like, listen to all these rappers I missed and do this all right. This guy has reignited that fire.
Seeking guidance from God as he navigates
a fire I
his
never
new
even
fame.
knew I had it.
This can also be interpreted as Kendrick having a conversation with two sides of himself. One side is super confident. This side of him feels inspired and believes that he can reach great heights in his career.
So I'm guessing there's going to be some cutouts.
But
like
then
this quite a lot,
there's the other side that feels unsure and weighted down by everything that comes with being famous. Two voices going back and forth throughout the song. Then there's Kendrick talking directly to you, the listener. He's trying to stay focused on what's important to him, but people around him are just messing with his vibe, distracting him. The song basically saying, leave me alone, let me do my thing without any of this bad energy. All three of these are valid points and can be used to interpret the song better. And even though this song has no significance to the actual narrative of the album, its solo story is able to capture where Kendrick's mind is at from writing this album. I didn't know that. But what does all of that have to do with this?
Because I didn't look at, like, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. I really didn't look as it being completely separate from the entire story. I looked at it as Kendrick, like the opening song, you know, Shireane, aka Master Splinter, or Daughter of Master Splinter, whatever, right? I looked at that opening song as what it was, and then like the story in the minivan. Then I looked at Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe as a flashback. Like flashing back to like the morning or like what Kendrick did just in his bedroom, like waking up and just like kind of stumbling around his room and getting ready. That's how I like pictured it. I didn't realize it wasn't like part of it.
Get in the car. Before we finna roll out. I got a pack of blacks and a beat CD. Get your freestyles ready.
Backseat Freestyle is the third song off the album, and you can immediately tell the disconnect from the last previous tracks. While those two were focused more on explaining something to you through this sort of calmer beat.
Yeah.
Backseat
Man, just
Freestyle
highlighting
jumps
the
right
beats
off the
alone,
bat with this more aggressive tone. And it's easy to know why since we know who's rapping here.
Hey, I'm never living life confined. It's a failure, even if I'm blind. I can tell you who, what, we where, how to sell your game right on time.
Putting us back in the eyes of that younger Kendrick from the first track. But the last we heard of him, he was caught up with Shireane and these two hooded people. So what happened? Remember, this story isn't linear. As a matter of fact, this song is one of the first events that happened throughout the day, with Kendrick getting stopped a couple hours later. The story in the song isn't anything crazy like some of the songs coming up, but it's this sort of click that puts everything into motion. Right off the bat, you can immediately tell that this song is just Kendrick freestyling in the back of the car. And that's it. But what is interesting about it is that it's able to help us understand how we're supposed to view this younger version of Kendrick. Because we learn, one, he's easily influenced when he's around his friends, focused on power, money, and women.
All my life I want money and power.
Is two, extremely young, talking about what he does.
I pray my get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can f the world for 72 hours.
And three, is scared all the time. Let's take a pause here and try to...
It's actually genius, literally writing this entire song from the perspective of his younger self. Like, how fucking genius is that, right? Putting himself in the mind of his younger self, being completely honest with who his younger self was, and just creating this entire song around the narrative of your younger mind. Because let's be real for a second. When we compare ourselves now as grown adults with our younger selves, they're almost two separate different people. At least you would hope they are. If they aren't, then that either means you were a great upstanding child, like when you were growing up and a teenager, or you haven't changed and you really should, okay? I know adults right now who still act like they're in school, and they shouldn't. Like, it's not right. Their mindset is all fucked up. So I'm just saying, if you don't look at your past self and think you've changed, think about if you think your past self was a good person. Obviously, Kendrick completely detached from it. I love how he does this.
In this car, because these are Kendrick's friends, and while it's not important to identify who each person is, it is important to know how big of an impact they have on this kid. So if Kendrick doesn't think about change in what's coming next, these friends will be the reason that his life is about to take the biggest U-turn you've ever seen in your entire life. The Art of Peer Pressure is probably one of the most intuitive songs off the album and really starts pushing the needle forward compared to other songs prior. So what's going on here? The song is an immediate continuation of Backseat Freestyle, and we now know that that song was literally just Kendrick rapping in the back of the car. But as mentioned earlier, these friends aren't people to mess around with. And Kendrick, despite how he's been acting so far, is only doing it to gain some brownie points from these people. Because the truth is, Kendrick doesn't like to get into any trouble. He wants to stay as far away from gangs as possible. He really is just a good kid. But the second he decides to step into that car,
Russian it quick to laugh about it later. Lately I'm a peacemaker, but I'm with the homies right now.
So as Kendrick continues to drive around the city, the more and more his friends want to do. Now, keep in mind that he's been in this car all day, and the amount of things that they've been doing is beyond explaining.
Me and my niggas go deep in a white Toyota, according to...
Oh, goddamn, man. Goddamn. These songs are so fucking good. Just listen to them again now. My word. Shit, man. Just that one line has made me want to go listen to this whole album again right now to stop this reaction. My word, man. This is something like, this is what I mean. Like, I said it's like incomparable. Like, I understand what happened, but I can't compare myself to it. Because I remember driving around with my friends for like a whole day. You know, that's what I mean. And I think it's good to be able to, like, to compare yourself to these situations so you understand what other people's lives are like, right? If I'm comparing this to my past, I remember driving around my friends when my, a friend of mine, Sam, when he was the first one in our group to get his license, and he drove everybody around everywhere. And because I live just outside of Brighton, which, by the way, if you ever come to the UK, I recommend visiting Brighton. Beautiful city. Because I live just outside of Brighton, like my friend would drive us all around Brighton. Like we'd go all around Brighton. It's a seaside town. Go to the sea, go to the beach, and just chill. I had no money growing up, none. Like literally completely broke. Like I had nothing growing up. But I didn't need money to sit in my friend's car and go to a beach, drink a bottle of water on a beach, right? So there was no pain or worry or like any kind of violence in my life. There was no money, but there was no like danger. It was just chill. But that's my comparable to this, you know? And I feel like it's good to do that. It's good to compare because it makes you realize how difficult this situation is and how it shouldn't be like this and how this is normal in his world, you know, and how amazing Kendrick is for wanting to bring people out of that as well. I think it's very important.
Doing is beyond explaining.
Me and my niggas 4 deep in a white Toyota. A quarter tank of gas, one doing orange soda.
They meet some girls, they get interrogated by rival
The
gangs,
GTA girl,
just
nice.
trying to cause as much trouble as they can. But at some point during this ride, someone passes Kendrick a blunt. Again, Kendrick does not want to do this. He has no idea what's in it, who gave it to him, but it doesn't matter, right? Right? Well, we'll get to that later. After driving around for what seemed like hours, they end up in front of a house. And Kendrick already knows what's about to happen. He is not about to break into that house. Think of the consequences. Think of your mom. Consequences? Look at us. Everyone's already going in. If we don't go, imagine how bad everyone's gonna see us. The risk isn't worth it. Look at him. He's scared. He's not like them. One wrong move could ruin everything. Okay, but one good move can make him a legend in the streets. Think about it. You're making this a big deal when no one's even home. No, you know what? There's no way in a million years we're going in there, especially to break in. And that's final.
I hit the back window in search of any Nintendo DVDs, plasma screen TVs in the trunk.
But then, as predicted, the worst happens.
Hey, there's somebody in this room. Wait, what? There's somebody in this room.
Panicking, they sprint back to their car and speed off. They have to escape these cops as fast as possible.
We made a right, they made a left, they made a right, they made a left. But they made a right, they made a left, they made a right, then another right. One lucky night with the homies.
The song is really about this persona.
Do you know what? I think like I don't know if this is the right or wrong way to word this, but it's crazy how I'm just comparing this to like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. First time I got that game, put it into my PlayStation 2 and played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, right? And I'm comparing a true story with a video game. And that's the only thing I have to compare it to. How crazy is that? That Kendrick's life was a crazy video game I played.
Persona Kendrick has been building for himself from each of these tracks, and really is a battle between the angel who wants to make it out of Compton and the devil saying to fit in since this is how his life is supposed to turn out. But his friends keep weighing him down. Whatever they do, he feels pressured to do the same, which then turns into this constant cycle of trouble, which bleeds exactly into what happens right after.
How you faded up? Yeah, we finally got that faded. On there. I think you hit the wrong blunt though. Alright, here's the plan, love. Kick back as an alibi. Wait till the sun go down, roll out, drop K.Dot off at his mama's van. Cause I know he's trying to put my Shireane tonight. And y'all gonna meet back at the block at about 10:30. Matter of fact, get the motherfucking car. We finna get at it.
Did he go see Shireane then? I always wondered this.
Money Trees is the most listened song on the album, and for good reason. If you, the listener, are looking at this song for the first time, what do you think of? Do you think of a tall, humongous tree filled with a bunch of money? Maybe a metaphor for a wealthy person? Or could it mean something completely different? After Kendrick got dropped off at his mom's van, he decides to drive back home. But as he drives back, he starts to think a bit. Think about where his life is going. So as he's driving, he's thinking about his past, thinking about his future, thinking about money. So far, every passing moment, the house break-in was about stealing valuable things.
So from what it seems like is like at this point Kendrick sort of tripped out, was like losing his mind a little bit, maybe like having a bit of is it called a whiteout? Is it called a whiteout? I can't remember what it's called. When you like lose your mind on drugs, right? Weed specifically. Can't remember what it was called. Let me know. I swear it was something like that. So basically he's like struggling. He's flagging and they're like, all right, let's take a break from all this crazy. Kendrick can go and, you know, meet up with Shireane. We'll meet up later, guys.
House they tell me, is you with it, you bitch? From 9 to 5, I know it's vacant, you bitch.
The rapping in the car was about how rich he wants to become.
Me and my niggas tryna get it, you bitch. Yeah, bitch. Then freeze that verse when we see dollar signs.
Everything is revolved around getting $1. As Kendrick is doing all of these horrible things, he's thinking about this dream of living the rapper's life with the money and the cars.
Dreams of living life like rappers do. Like rappers do. Like rappers do.
But then he remembers where he's from, so he's willing to do anything to get that check. He then starts to think about how he's gonna be able to have the most beautiful wife when he makes it, saying that everything in his life could be going horribly wrong. But if he just had some money, all of the issues in the entire world would magically disappear because he would have complete and utter power over everything and everyone, making his life perfect. All from a piece of paper.
That's
but
exactly
at
how
the same time, Kendrick knows that what he's doing is wrong and unethical. So now he can pick the good or the bad. The good obviously being don't steal, and the bad doing risky things to get money quickly. In his heart, there's one side of him that wants to start doing the right thing, which he calls hallelujah, and another part that just wants the lust of money and excitement, which he calls Halle Berry. Each side trying to pull him into a different direction, but then a realization.
Kind of funny that he called that side Halle Berry.
Sure, money can get you the girl, but Kendrick wants real love. So now he's just looking at her as a distraction. Think of it like climbing the mountain of life. People will take their backpacks full of necessities and their morals,
Jesus, I didn't even pick up on that on the listen.
But it's a lot of stuff, so it's heavy. So it's crazy what people are willing to do to get up the mountain faster, dropping stuff from their backpacks more and more just to get to the top first. So when you get up there, you forget why you even climbed up here in the first place. Does Kendrick want that? So far, Kendrick has been kinda immature. But this is showing an awakening to what he can finally do to change. So this is it. After seeing Shireane later, his life is about to completely change. He can...
This is like when people talk about like trying to climb a ladder. What's that? There's another song. It's trying to climb a ladder. Crazy what we'll do to make sure we can climb it faster. There's a song I listen to. Is that NF? I think it's NF. And it's true. It's amazing how many NF does a song when he's talking about this, and he basically says about like when you're trying to climb this ladder, about like how you change and how you shape yourself and mold and adapt and forget your friends and forget people and leave things behind, and then when you've made it, everything you were when you started that journey is gone and you're something else, and you had to become something else to make it. But now you're there, it's like, what was the point? I've lost everything that I wanted to have when I'm here, and now I'm just here on my own, and I'm not even who I was when I started. And that's the whole point. It's, do you want to get rid of all that stuff, or do you want to take all that stuff with you? And taking all that baggage is going to make the climb harder, but it'll be worth it when you make it to the top.
Actually make it out of Compton. All of these trials and tribulations for Kendrick to wake up and finally realize he can make it out. Oh, wait.
Go.
Poetic Justice is seen as one of those songs on every album about love. So this is a love story between Kendrick and Shireane, right? Well, not exactly. First, Poetic Justice is used as a literary device, being this sort of special tool that writers use to make their stories more interesting and lifelike. So when you see a phrase like Poetic Justice, think about someone who's always been too busy for love and just pushes away anyone who's ever cared about them. But then one day they fall deeply in love with someone else, but they end up being too busy for them. That person finally gets what it's like and realizes they need a change.
Poetic
Justice takes place right after the events of the first song, where we saw Kendrick meet Shireane and fall in love with her. But what I didn't mention is that Kendrick meeting Shireane to the drive to her house take place months apart from each other, and there's a bunch of crucial information in those months that we need to break down. So from that first song, we can see that Kendrick likes Shireane, but the thing is that he doesn't just like Shireane, he likes Shireane.
I recognize your fragrance. Hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit.
So every passing moment he's thinking about her, wanting her, but he starts seeing that something is kind of off about her, because she's always with the wrong crowd and she likes him one day and the other completely ignores him. Turns out Shireane has been sneaking around with other dudes, and the dude she
was that Drake
completely ignores him. Turns out,
is that a pixelated Drake face? Why does it look like fucking Shireane, man?
Shireane has been sneaking around with other dudes, and the dude she messes around with in this song is, you know, not important.
Your natural hair and your soft skin and your big and that sundress.
Except Kendrick likes this. He likes the chase. How complicated.
Wait, are you telling me that Kendrick Lamar wrote a song before all this Drake beef that featured Drake. And Drake was the other guy that was taking Kendrick's girl away from him. Ain't that fucking crazy? Ain't that whole circle crazy? That's great.
Their relationship really has him
That's
thinking that
nuts,
she
man.
really wants him. So he starts doing everything he can to start to understand her and get as close to her as possible, becoming friends with her friends, acting cool, but nothing seems to work. Time passes and she eventually gives in, and Kendrick and Shireane start talking more and more every day. But it's extremely clear that she's only using him for one thing. So here we are, sitting on the curb with her, looking as beautiful as ever. And Kendrick starts telling her about this dream he has about true love. He talks about how love should be more than just, you know, taking the skin boat to Tuna Town. It should have a more deeper...
The skin boat to Tuna Town is mad. Don't ever describe it that way. That is fucked. Really deep, that is so fucking messed up.
Emotional connection. And if they actually fell in love, Kendrick would be able to protect her and save her from this situation that she's in. Shireane, looking at Kendrick, confused. She tells him she's not looking for anything that serious. So she tells him no, but they can still smash pissers whenever. And you know what Kendrick says
This
to
guy
this?
describes
After
things
everything
weirdly,
he's done
man.
trying to find
Weirdly.
true love with this girl. Okay. You know what's
Sorry, bro,
really
we've all
good
been
about
there,
this
man.
song
We've
is
all
that
been
it's
there.
placed
We've all
right
been there.
smack in the middle.
We've
So
all
at this
been
point, you're able to get familiar with everyone and how they would act. We already know Shireane is bad because she led Kendrick to these two guys a couple songs back. So the whole time you're thinking, well, duh, Kendrick doesn't want to be with this girl, she's bad. But Kendrick doesn't know that. All he knows is that he met this girl at a party and he really likes her. Every song has been building up, showing us every fumble Kendrick has taken so that he can learn. Because if we compare Kendrick a couple of months ago,
You know, some of the worst parts of my teenage years were because of my ex. That's the truth. Because I literally got the wrong one. But it led me to being who I am now in this future and everything like that. So I would do it all again, even though it was fucking awful. But it's crazy how something as simple as a relationship can change everything, you know? Like, crazy. I literally had, someone who just cheated and was just awful. And yeah, like I said, worst parts of my teenage
at the
years.
party, only seeing Shireane as someone he can smash, to now you can see how much he's changing. So us, as the listener, are forced to see Kendrick do the wrong thing, knowing that he would eventually change. Kinda.
Oh. Ah. I didn't know that this was just Kendrick on his own outside of Shireane. I didn't know this conversation was then with those two guys. I didn't know that.
Good Kid is interesting because a lot of people like to group it with its other half song, M.A.A.D City. Now, these two songs aren't here to capture how Kendrick feels or acts, but it's really about what the city of Compton has done to him. Wait, I'm sorry. What the heck just happened? Kendrick just got threatened by these two men and the song just glosses over that? This is possibly the worst situation Kendrick could ever be in right now. This can ruin his future, his relationships. What can he do? Exactly. What can he do?
What did he do?
Good Kid
What did he
sees
do?
him stuck. Everyone's left him alone, and
What did he
he's
do?
left with no other option but to think, having his whole life play out
What
on his
happened when
mind.
those two
And
guys
every
confronted him
time
outside
he
the house,
replays it
saying he
and
was here to see
replays
Shireane?
it, all he
What
can
happened?
think to himself is how in every situation he's tried his best and be good. Sure, he's had his stumbles, but he was truly ready to change now. So what's happening? What is he missing? Maybe he's gone too far with his friends. Maybe it was
It's crazy how this shit always happens on the day that you're ready to change, right? The day that you go, right, I'm changing. This is it. This is the last time I do this. Always happens. If you ever have that thought in your mind, this is the last time I do something like this, your last time was the time before. All right, don't do it again. Because you will be surprised how much the universe fucks you when you say those words inside of your own mind. It always happens. This is the last time I do something. This tomorrow I'm wake up a new man. No, today you are a new man. If you wait till tomorrow, it's gonna be too late.
Shireane. Heck, it could have been himself. Looking around, knowing that no 17-year-old should ever be in this situation. Ever since he was young, he's felt trapped in the walls of his own mind, as if the walls are slowly closing in and there's nothing that he can do to stop it.
That's
why he's so scared and anxious all the time. Kendrick again has a flashback on walking home from Bible study one day. All seems good and calm for once, and then some dudes spot him and assume that he's part of a rival gang. They don't ask questions, they immediately see him as a threat. He knows that even though he's not involved in stuff like this, he can be attacked for just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. The chorus also acts as a reflection of the chaos in the city, calling it a mass hallucination and ill education, meaning that people are caught in this shared illusion and broken way of thinking, where violence, fear, and hate just seem normal. If we look at the album cover, it perfectly sums up what I'm talking about. We see a baby Kendrick surrounded by guns and alcohol, violence. This is all Kendrick's ever known. Again, coming back to reality. Kendrick, now helpless and powerless, just sits there for hours. The room's so quiet, all you can hear is his own heartbeat. Seeing nothing that can help, he sits there and he prays. Prays that if he's able to get out of this situation, he knows that it will be meant to be. Everything he's been going through is there to make him stronger. If he can escape this house, he can show the world that staying a good kid can actually pay off. Then the song stops. No explanation, no skit, nothing.
Brace yourself, I take you on a trip down memory lane. This is not a rapper while I'm slinking.
Okay. Other half of Good Kid, we just saved Kendrick. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, this album is a fucking masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It is one of the, if not the greatest album I've ever heard, man. It's a fucking masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Everything connects and flows. The story is being told. It's so brilliantly intricate that you would need a video like this to fully explain the situation. It is a damn movie that's been split up into songs. It's fucking
Mad
perfect.
City is the most intensifying song, as it blew everyone away the first time they listened to it. But the way that it comes in with this veracity is not just for show. It's probably one of the most important parts of this entire album, which is super crucial to know later. We'll get to it. So what is happening? I know a lot of information just hit your brain, so let's do a little recap. Kendrick goes to see Shireane. Shireane purposely set him up to get interrogated by these two guys. They locked him up, and Kendrick's friends just came to save his life. That means that Kendrick's prayer to God is now in full effect. So did God send my friend?
So what happened? His friends came and they were somehow able to get in the house without hurting anybody or like killing anybody and get Kendrick out? Also, how did his friends know he was like there and needed help? So, considering his friends have been like fucking up his life up until this point, pretty awesome friends in this situation.
Really set me up? So many thoughts start rushing into his head, with his thoughts getting crazier and crazier, thinking about why he needs to get out of this city, comparing it to a war zone in Pakistan where people keep dying and how somehow it's normal for you to keep a gun on you at all times. Kendrick being only 9 years old and watching someone get shot for the first time. That moment switching his mindset forever. The more and more Kendrick thinks, the worse his thoughts get. If you listen closely, you can hear Kendrick's voice break down at the brink of tears the further we get into the song.
Ugly waving your hand out the window, check yourself. Now crawl your head in that noose. You wind up dead on the news.
It's almost like he can't take it anymore.
When we checked out this song for the first time ever, I literally said this. I said how you can hear that emotion, how you can hear it in his voice. Kendrick is a fucking inspiration. He is a role model for so many people. This man went through hell and came out like an angel, you know, like in metaphorical sense, you know. He like went through it, came out on the other side and was like, that shit's messed up. I don't want to do that again. No one should have to do that. You know, like this is someone who broke the hierarchy. The hierarchy is the wrong word. You know how like your parents do something, their parents do something, their parents do something. Kendrick broke that chain, smashed it to pieces, was like, I ain't following this fucking chain anymore, man. I'm not being like those people were, like those people were before them, and those people were before them, you know, just looking for this violence. I'm not being like my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents. I'm starting anew. I'm starting afresh.
Why is this happening to him? There's a specific phrase in this song that explains it better than I ever could.
Bend down, where
It almost
Well,
sounds
they
like what
asked
those
him.
guys said to
Yeah,
Kendrick earlier.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you where I'm from, okay? You gonna tell me where you from, okay? Or where your grandma stay.
But why is it here? And why is it so distorted and low? Well, the answer to that is actually extremely simple.
Wake your punk, suck. It ain't nothing but a Compton thing. Chill.
If we go back all the way to the art of peer pressure, I told you guys that Kendrick took a blunt with a bit of some of that powdered sugar, remember? So the true effects of that blunt haven't started hitting him until he started running for his life in the beginning. Probably why he was able to outrun those guys, huh? So this entire first section of the song with Kendrick talking insane and going crazy was him hallucinating in the car as him and his friends were driving away. He can't get over how crazy his life is. Did you not see what just happened to him? It was
This instrument in the background
he
reminds me
gets
tons
serious
of that, like,
and tells us that no matter how bad he makes his story seem about Compton, no one will
That
ever
instrumental.
understand what it was like to be a kid going through this, because it was bad. Worse than I can ever explain it. And that's the message between these two songs. No matter how many times Kendrick is influenced to go out with his friends or be with Shireane, the city as a whole can destroy him as a person. So Kendrick tweaking in the back eventually makes his friends park the car. There's a pretty good distance away from the house, so I think it's a good time for Swimming Pools is the 9th song on this album, and it's
Such a
funny how
great
a lot of
track,
people
man.
view this as a club song telling people to drink and party, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. First, what exactly is Swimming Pools? Well,
What did I think of this song when I first listened to it? What did I think? Did I think it was a club song? Kinda. It has a weird darkness to it, but it does feel like a song just about chilling and drinking, you know? But it also feels like a song about not wanting to do that. No. I remember it's a song about alcoholism. It isn't about like having a party. It's about the negatives from feeling like you have to.
a swimming pool being a place of fun and jumping in the water. But here, imagine the swimming pool being made entirely of liquor and addicted people are jumping in. This song steps away from everything and focuses on how Kendrick just promised himself he wouldn't get involved in stuff like this. If he can escape this house, he can show the world that staying a good kid can actually pay off. Telling his friends about last time they told him to drink. Picture this, Kendrick is at a party. Everyone is drinking, the vibes are exciting, and then boom. You can see that people are drinking to escape their sadness. Others just doing it to be accepted by their friends. So Kendrick at this party is, of course, not a drinker, but he stands there, watching, observing, seeing what everyone is doing. When all of a sudden his friends end up right next to him, all extremely drunk, pushing him to drink with them. But after some persistent no's, he ends up giving in because someone called him a pussy. See, now that's where you cross the line. So he starts drinking with them, and shot after shot, the room gets darker and louder, drinking more and more to keep up with his friends. Then comes a crucial point. Kendrick hears a voice, the voice of his conscience, warning him about the dangers of drinking too much.
It's actually interesting. I grew up not drinking. I didn't drink at all. And I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't drink because my dad was a heavy drinker. And when my dad drank, he became a different person. Like, he was a different guy. And my mum was a heavy drinker. And when she drank, she became a different person. I literally remember waking up one day, going downstairs in the summer, going outside my back garden. They were like my mum's house. And she was hammered. She was just out there, just completely hammered. In the morning, there was like, I think one of her boyfriends at the time was there. And she was just drinking. And I remember it, like, as a kid, I thought it was hilarious. Because she was, like, just agreeing to everything. We're like, we have this, we have this. She's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And we thought that was hilarious. And I literally, and I look back at that, and I just find it so fucked up that I was so young. I would have been, like, under 10. I was so young, and I thought that was funny. How fucked up that is. But, yeah, and then I literally was like, I never want to drink. So I never drunk. Even when I met my wife, I didn't drink. And my wife was a drinker. And her friends all drunk. And I used to, like, when I met my wife, I used to go with her and her friends a lot. And they would all be drunk. And in the amount of times I had situations like this where I was just at a party, just watching people get more and more and more drunk. And it is amazing how many stupid fucking things they do. How many arguments they get into. How many mistakes they make. All because of this thing.
Okay, now open your mind up and listen to me, Kendrick. I'm your conscious if you do not hear me, then you will be just a weak Kendrick.
For that 1 second, he realizes what he's been doing, since he knows that drowning too much in this poison can lead to a crazy addiction and ruin his life. But Kendrick's already gone too far. He starts mentioning having a new appetite for failure, meaning that he's starting to expect the worst in his life. And this feeling just grows stronger over time, saying,
My dog barking in the background. In case you guys are hearing that.
We go back to Kendrick explaining this to his friends, but they aren't listening. They still think that he's shooken up after what happened to him earlier. And so fueled by rage, the only thing on their minds from all of this is revenge. How can we get back at those people who did this to him? They can't let this slide. They have to end those guys' life. Without a second thought, they jump back in their car and they go back. Kendrick, not wanting to go, tries to become the voice of reason, but they just keep going faster and faster. Even though these two have nothing to do with it, they feel it's necessary to protect him here. And we know that Kendrick is changing, but even him being on this car going back is the single most important part of this
But
album.
just when I thought I had enough,
They stopped the homie out over a bitch. We gonna do the same old shit. I'm gonna pop a few shots. They gonna run opposite way. Fall right in the lap.
And I hope that just set him up out there. We gonna pop that.
So when they said they stumped a homie over a bitch, right? Those are the exact words that they used. They were referring to these two guys who Kendrick pulled up outside Shireane's house, and these two guys like jumped him, took him in the house or whatever, and and kept him there, right? Or whatever happened in that situation. And that's what they're saying. They're saying, like, Kendrick didn't go there with any ill intentions. He literally just went there to hang out with Shireane, and they did all of this to him. And they're pissed off about that. They're like, our guy, like, you know, literally just went there to have a nice night with this girl, and they did that. And that's what they're talking about.
Wait, hold up. Hey, I see something.
And then they said, we're going to shoot Shireane as well, because they think that she did this to him.
Got the niggas. K.E.D., you good? You good?
Yeah, bud, I'm good. Dad, you good?
Hey, say something. Hey, these niggas kill my brother.
Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst is the most important song. Throughout this album, there's been this overarching story taking place about love and violence. And
also, because this song came on, I just want to say a shout out to whoever randomly shared my video on Twitter. I was getting like tagged in a bunch of stuff on Twitter the other day, and yeah, shout out. And also everyone who just randomly followed me on there the other day. I don't really have that many followers on Twitter. We had a nice little jump the other day, so I appreciate all you guys over there. I try and keep it a positive space, considering that platform is inherently negative. So yeah, I really appreciate it. But the reason I'm saying it is because someone tagged me in my reaction to this song. And it was like getting some traction, and I was very grateful for it. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful for all of you, to be honest. I can't believe how welcoming everyone's been to this journey that I've been on. I appreciate you guys so much. This song is so fucked, man. It just gives me goosebumps every time I think of that part. Because you have these two guys who are driven by this revenge, who take it upon themselves. You got Kendrick in the back, and you have this guy who jumps out, shoots, jumps back in. He's like, haha, I got one. Immediately laughing at the idea of taking someone's life, and just being like, yo, Kendrick, you good? And just making sure everyone's good. You can hear the smile in something so fucked.
Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst serves as
so
that
messed up,
climax that a lot of stories have. That is meant to completely motivate the character just for a chance of making a difference. So why? Why is this song specifically so important? Well, this song is cut up into two parts. First, Sing About Me and I'm Dying of Thirst, which we'll find out the meaning of later. Throughout the album, we've been following Kendrick and his group of friends. And unfortunately, we just saw one of Kendrick's closest friends pass away after trying to get revenge for him earlier. Now, this song isn't revolved around that friend, who we later learned is named Dave, but is focused on Dave's brother, who I'm calling DB, and how he reacts to finding out what happened. DB just saw his brother die right in front of him. But time goes on and we see him thanking Kendrick, thanking him for always showing so much love to Dave. Even in Dave's dying moments, Kendrick held him, making him feel safe. Even though in this moment he's completely helpless, just the being there meant so much to DB.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say it's important to compare your situations to other people's situations, right? This shit's so alien to me. I can't imagine it. And I think that's why it's important to compare ourselves to other people who are, like, think about your own past, think about your own story, think about how something could never happen to you. This is the same with, like, people who are in countries that are constantly in war, right? And this is the same thing, right? Someone who's in the same situation as you, you know, same person, same body, same mind, right? But just born in a different place. And that dictates their entire upbringing. The fact that Kendrick at this age had to hold someone while they died after just being shot. Did that ever happen to you? I imagine some of you it would, and it shouldn't happen to anyone.
Go back to a specific day where it's just Kendrick and DB alone, sitting, thinking about life, and for the first time in forever, they have a genuine talk. Putting Kendrick in this high pedestal since he has this huge passion to make it out of Compton, because for him, it was all lost when he was just a kid. Telling him about how much he loves his raps and prays that one day when he makes it big, he'll tell their story, shedding light to all those other kids going through the same situation, making sure that his memory is never forgotten. So fueled by rage, he can't get over his brother's death. It's the same nightmare every night, so he goes for vengeance. But one slip up ended his life. But Kendrick here, fulfilling his wish to sing about me, ending his verse with the final words, "Am I worth it?"
Right now, man. Like, we right here. Brother, they just killed the only brother, man. Just come, all right, just call me back, man. Call me back. So what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do? Bruh, we can go back right now, man. We can go back right now.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of fucking running. I'm tired of this. My brother, homie.
I am tired of running. Song after song, it's been issue after issue, problem after problem. They're tired of running, they're tired of hunting, they're tired of living this life of crime, chasing these empty goals. They just watched their friend die and just want to find a way to stop all this madness. Kendrick and his friends start to reflect, saying,
how many sins? I lost count.
They've sinned too much.
I feel like this song with like the marching drums is, oh my god, man. This album, fuck me. Oh my god. Never in my life have I heard something like this. Never, man. Never. Oh my god. I know it's a stupid question, but are DB and Dave actual brothers? Because the way he keeps saying it is like they're brothers, but I don't actually know. Oh my word! Do you know what's crazy? I hate how much of a masterpiece this album is, because this album breaks me into pieces emotionally. It paints horrible pictures in my mind in the most brilliant way, and I hate it for doing that. I hate it for putting these horrific images inside of my mind and doing it so fucking amazingly. It is a damn masterpiece.
And the Reaper is calling.
For terrifying
Death is
me.
always close by and feel like there's no escape. So how are they all going to change? It's a cycle of violence, greed, temptation, repentance that keeps pulling them in. But breaking free from that cycle is an uphill battle. But then the most unexpected but beautiful thing happens.
Tired of this. I'm tired of young running. Come talk to me. My brother, homie, is that what I think that is? I know that's not what I think that is. Why are you so angry? See, you young men are dying of thirst. Do you know what that means? That means you need water, holy water. You need to be baptized with the Spirit of the Lord. Do you want to receive God as your personal Savior? Okay, repeat after me. Lord God, I come to you a sinner. Lord God, I come to you a sinner.
The phrase dying of thirst isn't about needing water. It's about feeling spiritually empty, desperate for something greater. This lady helping these young men with the sinner's prayer, turning their life into Jesus. No longer running, no longer living a life of crime and revenge, but living for Him. Releasing themselves of this horrible mentality and ready to live this life as a newly found person. And while people like DB were victim of not following through with this newly found mentality,
please
people
tell me
who
this album
were
just
able
won
to
like a
find
million
something
awards.
greater.
All right now, remember this day, the start of a new life, your real life.
Your real life. Real
I mean,
life,
at
man.
this point, we could have just ended the album right here, right? We just went from Kendrick being this easily influenced little immature kid to him having this beautiful redemption at the end. So why continue? Well, I like to think of this song as a bowl of cereal because you have two ingredients. You have the cereal and you have the milk. Both in their own regards are perfectly fine separate, but when combined together, magic. So this side of the story is done.
That's how I describe cereal. That's how I describe cereal. Yeah, a bowl of magic, man. Bowl of magic.
Right? It's over? Well, kinda. I like to think that there's one
man.
final puzzle piece to make this album whole. This song begins right after with Kendrick expressing pride in who he finally is. This is really important because it sets the stage for the main message of the song.
God damn, this album is the best!
But what does that actually mean? After Kendrick took that leap to being true to himself, he realized what's going on with so many other people. He points out how everyone loves material things. Fancy clothes, fast cars, money, and they believe that these things will make them happy.
Shit, man, this comes back to Humble, the first song we reacted to Kendrick, and I didn't even realize that. Why is Kendrick the way he is? Why is this man so humble? Why is this guy still driving around the same thing, still eating the same food that he did when he grew up? Why is he like that? Because he realized how much material things were corrupting people to do bad shit just to achieve those goals.
Love got to do with it when you don't love
Crazy.
yourself.
No matter how much you love these material things or
Jesus,
other people,
man,
if
it's
you don't love
crazy.
and accept yourself, none of it really matters. So real isn't about what you have or what other people think of you. It's about knowing yourself and your own worth. Well, true, but there's so much more to it than just that. Throughout the album, we've been getting voicemails from Kendrick's parents. And at first, these voicemails are very sporadic.
Hey, where my motherfucking Domino's at? It's the second time I asked you to bring my Domino's.
See, I thought Domino's was pizza, but it's not.
See, hell, he ain't even tripping off them dominoes no more. Just bring the car back.
Did somebody say Domino?
Don't hang up. Damn, let me see. Kendrick, when you get this message, man, call me back.
But one thing is extremely clear. Kendrick's parents are flustered. His mom constantly asking for the van back. His dad high as hell the whole time. So they must not be important. Actually, these two characters might be the most important people. At some point after this whole ordeal, Kendrick's parents call him for a third time. Not calling, asking about the car or Domino's, but actually talking to him. His dad starts by apologizing for what happened to Dave.
Gang, I ain't tripping up for the Domino's no more. Just call me. Sorry to hear what happened to your homeboy.
He tells him that what those people did to him, that's not being real. For him, being real is responsibility. It's taking care of your family. Real is God. His mom takes the phone and tells Kendrick that Top Dog, the music label, called asking if they could hear more from him, saying that they loved what they've been listening to so far, and if he actually put all of his energy into it, who knows where it can take him, ending the conversation with something that would push him forward to pursuing this rapping thing.
If I don't hear from you,
Oh, man.
you'll see it. And I love you, Kendrick. Talk to you later. Bye.
This man is a fucking legend. Ah, this man.
Now everybody serenade the new faith of Kendrick Lamar.
Compton is the final chapter of Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, and it brings everything we've seen in this album to this powerful conclusion. And when you
Kendrick telling the story of Compton to the damn world, going through this, sharing his friends, his names, the situation, showing that he was a good kid who made it out of that mad city, and he's bringing everybody with him. Their story travels through his
listen
words.
to it, it sounds happy. Kind of like a celebration. And in all honesty, that's exactly what it is. This album has been crazy. I hope you see why so many people are in love with it and can't stop obsessing over this man. But there's one final chapter to this story to finally close this book shut. So
if someone said what's the greatest album you've ever heard,
Kendrick
I would have a
pursued
hard
rap,
time
he
not
signed that
saying
deal
Good
with
Kid, Mad
Top
City.
Dog. We're finally seeing Kendrick at a moment of triumph. He made it. He's at the top, dropping song after song, win after win. The fame and the money keep stacking waking up. Life couldn't be going any better. And with fame, he can throw that whole past life behind him. Who cares about everyone else? He's the one who's up. Not a single thought has to go to Compton or that horrible life ever again. I'm gonna pause you right there. Even though Kendrick is at the top, he's never gonna forget where he came from. Kendrick loves this city and the people that are in it. He embraces it, not looking down on it, but holding it to a pedestal for making it who he is today. Giving back to the people of Compton just as he promised his mom. Showing homage to the city, its people, and its culture. The city is united as one. If the album is a story of Kendrick trying to find a way in the midst of chaos, Compton is that resolution where everything comes full circle. If you've been following this far, then you know that the story of Good Kid Maad City is deeply rooted on the idea of change. Kendrick says that all kids in Compton are good kids, they just live in the Mad City. It changes people, It becomes their norm.
Absolutely.
So by him telling the story of his...
If any one of those people who were born in Compton were born in my town, like the town I grew up in, not one of them would have ever picked up a gun.
Introduction to this world, to then his everyday life, to his eventual victory, it shows people that they can change too. We saw Kendrick at his worst in Compton, dealing with Shireane, the constant fear of walking outside, to that key moment changing everything for Kendrick, pushing him to achieve more. A story of personal change from an immature teenager to a seasoned adult. Parents focused on dominoes to passing down lessons on being a man. To us witnessing Kendrick's group of friends go from troubled teenagers to converted Christians, change is at the key center of all of it, showing you that whatever situation you're going through in life, with change, you can overcome it too. So find your good kid in a mad city and overcome it.
What an awesome video. What an awesome video. Like, I'm not even joking. This guy, shout out this guy, man. I love that he says, help me reach 100K. My guy is sitting on, what, 150 now? 129. Made this 6 months ago. Smashed that number. Absolutely deserved. This video was fucking brilliant. This video was fucking brilliant. What an amazingly well put together video, showcasing the story, highlighting everything, putting it all into this animated, easy to consume format for us, so we can sit here and watch this like it was a damn movie. Because the album itself is a movie. The album itself tells the story of a movie, acts out like a movie, and when you're listening to it as an outsider, it feels like just a Hollywood-created, manufactured story that we are all sitting down as just a form of entertainment to consume, right? We're like, wow, this is crazy, look at this dark story. But no, it's a true story. It isn't supposed to be glamorous, and it never is. It is the story of pain and darkness and suffering that comes with growing up in a place like Compton. And everything that has to go with it. Like I said, there's a lot of rappers out there who glamorize this idea. Or they don't. But the media thinks that they glamorize it, right? One of two. And it's completely misunderstood where, especially with Kendrick, this is never a glamorification. It's never looking back at his past. Like talking to Kendrick, he's never looking back at his past and being happy or proud of it. But he loves it where he came from. And he wants to make it better. And that's the contradiction there, you know? But it also isn't. And this is someone who isn't proud of his past but would never change it. Who doesn't look back on it with a smile but somehow does a little bit, you know? It's weird because Kendrick has this love for his city, where he grew up, and these people, despite not liking his past but never wanting to change it. You know? Like, it's all over the place, but it makes perfect sense. Do you know what I mean? It sounds nuts, but it fits. This is a guy that, like, you cannot help but be proud of. You cannot help but admire and respect for going through so much, for struggling so much, for making it out the other end, and for bringing his city with him, for bringing his people with him, his little corner of LA with him, and sharing that story with the world like he said he would, and making sure that he is humbled by it and respects it, and lets the world know about what is normal for them isn't normal for other people. You know, like letting someone like me see that, because I always say this. Literally, the one thing that people are discriminated on the most, they cannot change. It's completely without any kind of possibility to change. And I find that absolutely insane. Like, someone is just born randomly by chance in different countries all over the world, different towns and cities in those countries, completely by chance. We are just randomly born into existence. And yet, how you look will get you persecuted by other people because you were born. For no reason. No reason. And I feel like this album is such a fantastic showcase of letting the world know how different it's gonna be. How, like I said, how someone like me who grew up in a town outside of Brighton, you know, here in the UK, like what my rough childhood like moments were, comparing them to this, the everyday moments of someone's childhood. And I feel like it's important for people to understand this, for people to listen to this, for people to hear this story, so they can respect it, and so they can show some love and show some compassion for people who go through this. You know, I think it is absolutely fucking stupid how anyone would ever want to persecute anybody for simply being born. Because it was literally a coin toss where you would be born. You know? It's crazy. I find it nuts. It's like the wind changes slightly, the weather's a little bit different, boom, you're born in another country. You got a completely different family, blood, city to call your home, right? I will never stop blowing my mind. If you're gonna not like someone, don't like them for being a dick. Like, you know, that's the best reason to like somebody. I don't like that guy. He's a dick. You know, he's always like kicking puppies and oh man, the other day he came around my house, he stole all of my drinks. Like, fuck that guy. Like, that's a good reason to not like someone. See what I mean? There you go. Oh man, I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction here. What an amazingly well done video. And if anything, this has just made me love the album even more. If anyone ever talks about the greatest albums of all time and this isn't in that sentence, don't even listen to a word that person says, alright? I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction. Have yourselves an amazing day. Come and join me tonight for my big subathon. I'm going to be streaming all night for like 12 hours on Twitch. I'm probably live when you're watching this right now. My Twitch link is in the description. Come over and say hi, chill and watch some anime with me. Have an amazing evening. Thank you so much for giving me some of your precious time. And as always, my friends, let me know what you want me to react to next. Recommendations down below. Whoever's the most upvoted comment, we'll check out on Wednesday. And as always, you will see me in the next video.